In this class, we are going to understand about initialization of single dimension arrays, and we write some programs. Okay, let us understand what is initialization. Initialization means giving initial value to a variable at its creation. Okay, so giving initial value to a variable at its creation is what? Initialization. For example, let us consider integer age is equal to 25. So age is a variable created and age is stored with what? 25. Therefore, it is called as initialization. Okay, double salary is equal to 9,000 I am giving. Means salary variable is created, immediately it is stored with what? 9,000. Therefore, it is called as initialization. Okay, but this is not initialization. What is not initialization? Suppose integer x I have given. So here empty variable is created. Empty variable is created. Okay, created. Then later on I am going to give x is equal to 12. So this is not initialization, not initialization, not initialization. Okay, initialization, but called what? Assigning. Okay, assigning what we call this assignment or assigning the value. Okay, so after creation of variable, if you store the value into the variable, it is called as assigning, not initialization. What is initialization? So assigning the value to a variable at its creation, like this. While creating the variable, if you store a value, it is called as initialization. Okay, initialization. This is what we call as initialization. Now we are going to understand about what? Initialization of single dimensional arrays. Similar to this variable initialization, how to initialize array. Okay, that is what now we are going to understand. The syntax is like this: data type means data type array name. Okay, give the square brackets, then is equal to, in the flower basis you have to give the values separating with comma. Okay, so like this we have to give. Example, let's say example, integer a array is equal to 10, 20 and what? 30. Okay, so how it is going to happen? Let us understand. This is initialization. This is what we call as initialization. Okay, initialization of array. Okay, array. Let's say, let us understand with the help of one program. Okay, so let me first of all show you here what is happening. So what is initialization, please? Here I can write integer. I write a is equal to 10, 20, 30 I am giving. What happens? A is an array created. Okay, a is an array created with how many elements, please? 3 elements, like this, because 3 numbers are present. So like 0, 1, 2, and this particular a will be pointing to this particular array. For example, array address is 101. Assume that the starting address of the array is what? 101. This 101 will be stored here. Then these numbers are stored, first element with 10, second element with 20, third element with what? 30. So as we have given 3 numbers, 3 elements array is created, and which is assigned to what? A. Okay, so like this it is going to be. Now let me show you the program here. So the program is like this. I can also say here, see, this is the program. How can we give the initialization, please? Directly I can give the values, open the flower base, 10, 20, 30, like this. This is the initialization. And here I am using for each loop to print the values present in the array. So let me run the program here, run it. Now you can see the output. See, 10, 20, 30. See, I am using for each loop. Okay, so like this is called as initialization. Okay, fine. So a small program here is a very small program which I am going to paste over here. Right, this is what. And if you want, I can also give this particular thing. Okay, so here I am going to paste this particular thing. Okay, fine. So this is initialization. Remember that. Fine. Next, we write some programs now. Read n numbers and print. Okay, read n numbers into array. Read n numbers into array and print their sum and average. This is the kind of program that we want to write. Okay, so let us write this particular program, please. Let us write this program. Let us come here. Okay, now the question is like this. The question is, please, this is what I commented here. Read n numbers into array and print their sum and average. So let us first of all, reading comes import what I can say, please, java.util.scanner class I can use. Okay, for reading the numbers. So therefore let me remove the total code. Right, integer a is a reference variable, please. Then I write n and I variable for loop, and sum, which is used to sum the values. and double I can say what, average. Average means averaging the numbers. Okay, so a is a reference variable to which I create the array, and this is n to store the number of elements of the array. I is a for loop variable, and it stores the sum of the array, it stores the average of array. Okay, right. Now I am going to ask, first of all I create a scanner. Scanner sc is equal to new of scanner. Okay, scanner of system.in. Okay, this is what I have created. Then I am going to ask here sysout. Okay, I am going to say that enter. Okay, how many numbers, okay, that is you want to, okay, input, how many numbers you want to input. That number I take n is equal to sc dot next integer. Okay, this is so here it is reading what the n value. Okay, how many numbers you want to input. Now I am going to ask enter the numbers. Okay, I am going to ask what, enter numbers. So sysout, okay, sysout. So right, now otherwise I write in the for loop only. Okay, in the for loop only I am going to write. So what's the for loop? For I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, means this for loop runs for n times. Okay, n times. Now I am going to read the numbers. So sys, okay, sorry, I want to say one more thing please. Now allot n elements, okay, elements of memory to what, array. Okay, allot n elements of memory to array. What is the syntax to create the memory please? What is the syntax to create the array memory? So in the last class we have seen, let me show you that once again. Yeah, so this is what, okay, type array name, then we use the syntax array name is equal to new of type of size. This syntax we are going to use. Okay, so let me show you this one. Yeah, let me get back to this program. Right, fine. Now get the program. So this is the syntax that we are going to follow. So the syntax is like this. Let me show you the syntax also. The syntax is this one. So what is the array name please? Array name is a is the array name. Okay, so therefore I can say a is equal to new keyword. Type means data type. What's the a type is integer. Okay, therefore I write integer. In the brackets you write down the size. What the size is? N is the number of elements. N is the number of elements. If n is equal to 5, 5 elements of memory will be created and assigned to a. Okay, so therefore now this is allotting the memory completed. Now what I do is read values into array. Okay, into array. I am going to read the values into a array. Okay, so how many numbers we have to read? N numbers we have to read. Therefore I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Here I am going to ask the user, okay, sysout enter number. Let's say enter number. That number I store into the a. So how can I write now? A of ith element is equal to sc dot next integer. This is how I am going to read the numbers. Okay, so this is what happens here. It is, let me show you how it is going to work. Let me show you here. So how many numbers you want to give? 3 numbers. So number 1 I am giving, number 2 I am giving, number 3 also I am giving. Is that clear now? Right. So this is, so how this particular for loop runs, let me explain this particular one. Okay, let me explain here. Okay, so here I am going to explain, understand the code, how it is going to work. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So this code I am going to show. Okay, so what is n actually? N is equal to, assume that 3 is equal, n is equal to 3 elements, assume. Okay, now I would like to read the values. So I am writing what? SOP. What I am saying? Enter number. Okay, shortcut I am writing, please enter number. Okay, now I read the number. What I am reading? A of ith element is equal to sc dot next int I am writing here. Okay, so assume that A is an array. A is an array created with how many elements? N elements, because you will be writing like this, right? A is equal to new of integer of n. We said what is the n is? N is equal to 3. Therefore 3 elements of memory created like this and assigns to A. Okay, so what is the A is? A is 3 elements like this. A is 3 elements, assume. Okay, now I am going to explain here, right? Let's say that. So this is what it is not getting correctly, int of. Okay, int of next int, right? Now let us understand the execution. I, what's the I is equal to initially, please? I is equal to 0. 0 is less than 3, yes, true. Enter it. Now it's going to ask this particular thing, please. Here what is going to ask? Enter number. Okay, then sc dot next line is reading the number, so I am giving 10, press enter. 10 will be taken here and stores into I. What's I is 0. See, I is equal to how much? 0. Therefore a of 0 is stored with what? 10. A of 0 is stored with what? 10, like this. Okay, once it is end of the loop, again it will increment the value step, that is what? 1. Then check the condition. Now 1 is less than is equal to 3, yes. Again enters into the loop. Again it will ask you the system.out.println, again it is going to ask you enter number. Okay, again this particular a of I is equal to sc dot next int, it is going to read the value, so I am giving what? 20, press enter. 20 will be taken by this one and stores into a of I. What's I is now? What's I is now? 1. Therefore 1. So a of 1 is stored with what? 20. Okay, so next what happens is, in the next iteration, let me show you that completely. Let me explain here, please. Okay, end of the for loop, again step I plus plus becomes what? 2. Then 2 is less than is equal to 3, yes, enters into the loop. Again it will ask you to enter what? Another number. So enter number. I give 30, press enter. 30 will be taken by this one and stores into the a of I. What is the I is now? I is equal to 2. Therefore 2, a of 2 is stored with what? The 30. So a of 2 is stored with what? 30. Okay, then end of the loop, then I becomes what? 3. 3 I becomes what? 3, and 3 is less than is equal to 3 is what? False. False means loop terminates. This is how the values are read into the array. Okay, this is how the values are read into the array. So this is what reading completed. Okay, same code I have written here. See, please. Right. Now what I want to do here, it is, let me first of all, let's say that print array values. Okay, array values. Okay, print array. Let me say that array I want to print. How to print? Already we have seen for each loop. Okay, for each integer x. Okay, integer x colon, what I mean to say is array. Okay, so the array values one after the other is assigned to what? X. First of all, what is the value of array is? See, 10, 20, 30. So first of all 10 is assigned, next iteration 20 is assigned, next iteration 30 is assigned. Already I have explained in the previous program. Okay, now I am going to sum this. Sum is equal, see, let me first of all show you the output. Sys out. Okay, x is equal to plus x. Let's see, first of all, let me run the program. So what is x? Okay, I am giving n is equal to 3. I am giving 10, 30, okay, and 70. See, I got x is equal to 10, x is equal to 30, x is equal to 70. Okay, so for each x in array, so x is going to, x contains each and every number present in the array. Now what we have to do, please? See, print their sum. Sum means sum of the array. Sum of the array we have to print. How to calculate the sum of the array? Initial value of sum is 0. So therefore I am going to write sum is equal to sum plus x. Okay, sum plus x. That's it, finished. Then so all the values present in the x are added to the sum, means all these particular x values are added to the sum, and after the loop I am going to print sys out. Okay, sum is equal to, okay, plus sum I am going to write. Okay, finally how to calculate average? Average is equal to, please, average is equal to sum divided by n. That's it, sum divided by n. Therefore the average also I print here. Average is equal to, okay, plus average. That's it. Okay, so let me run the program. What did you understand, please? So what is average, please? Sum of the numbers divided by number of values. Okay, that is what, how the average is calculated. And finally I am printing the sum as well as average. So let me execute the program. Here 5 numbers, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, okay, 304 I got, sorry, 50 and what, 60, like this. So we got what? Sum is equal to 444 and average is equal to 88. Okay, but if you want, is that okay, please? This is how you can calculate. Okay, so this is the program, Control A, Control C, and this is how I am going to paste the program over here. This is the program actually. Okay, but before that, this also I am going to send as a reference to you. So this is what the reference. Clear, right? So this is what. So read n numbers and print. Read n numbers into array and print their sum and average. This is the program that I have explained. Now I am going to give you some practice problems. You practice these problems, please. So this is what the practice problems. What is that is? Read n numbers and read n numbers into array and print odd numbers. Only odd numbers present in the array you have to sum and you have to print it. Okay. You have to print only odd numbers. Odd numbers only you have to print. Don't print even numbers. Okay. Now next one. Read n numbers. Okay. Read n numbers into array and print number of even numbers, please. Number of even numbers. How many even numbers are there that you have to calculate and you have to print? Means counting logic you have to apply here. Okay. Next, read n numbers into array. Okay, into array and print each number is prime number or not. So you have to print whether it is a prime number or not, whether it is prime number or not, whether it is a prime number or not. This is nested loop program. This is what you have to use. Nested loops you have to use. Here you have to use nested loops, loop inside the loop. Okay, right. Already I have explained this particular program on nested loops. Okay, but you have to try with what? Arrays. Fine. So this is what the programs on what? Arrays. Okay, thank you.